Good morning, lovely people. How are you all today? I hope you're well. We're back in the garden. Yay! It feels like ages. It is. Well, oh no, apart from the squash day. Really though, where are we? We're halfway through October. I've only had a couple of days in the garden. You know, the day I was sort of picking all my peppers and then picking all the squash, because we've had so much rain. My goodness. So there we were, 6 months of drought. Was it 6 months? March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, 6 months. And in the 6 months, those 6 months, we had a couple of rain days at the very beginning of May, a couple of rain days at the beginning of July, and that was it. That was it. So I bumped into our chairman the other day. Was it Pumpkin Harvest Day? Can't remember, doesn't matter. But what I always forget is we've got a little weather station down here and our chairman keeps the record. I should ask him to have a good nosy because I love that kind of nerdy stuff. But he was telling me that for the first week of October, now I can't remember whether he told me in inches or centimetres. It ought to have been in centimetres, but he's old school. Anyway, it was 10 of rain, either 10 centimetres or 10 inches. I can well believe 10 inches actually. And that is the normal rainfall for us for the whole of October. So in 1 week we had, hey buddy, we had a whole month of rain. So, you know, I've often said I don't mind a bit of rain, I don't mind doing a bit of gardening in the rain, but actually it was really quite heavy rain at times, quite chilly. Why, you're right there, mister, why carry on in the garden when I've got tons to do at home? That's great, so I might as well just get on with things at home, let the rain finish, and then when it's clear, come and enjoy the garden, which I'm going to do. So it's going to be pretty soggy out there. Never mind, mud, glorious mud. So the main job for today is to dig up my main crop potatoes. Yay! So we'll get on with that. Another job to do, and I'll show you more closely when we're down there, is the edge of the bed where they are is next to one of the long paths that goes up all the way to the top central path. Now when I was earthing the spuds, the earth was kind of falling everywhere and it's fallen right up to the edge of the path. Now I always, where I've got my nice crisp edges, you all know that by now, I always like to have a bit of a gutter between the edge of the path and the bed. So the edge, that's the path, little drop down and then ooh to the bed. It's nothing for you, Rusty. And that just, I like to keep it like that because having that bit of a break, it stops, well, in my mind, in theory, it sort of stops the grass from coming and growing back into the bed. So where I had done all that earthing, no, Rosie, all the cats want to do, I've got squash everywhere, I've got cats everywhere, there's not enough room for all of us, and all these, no, Rusty, no, no, come here, there's no room up there. You'd think they'd have a look first, wouldn't you? Anyway, as I was trying to say, yeah, so I need to reinstate that path edge today. Or should I say I would like to reinstate that path edge. So yeah, potatoes, path edge. The potato bed is going to have a follow-on crop, so I'll prep it for that. There's a lot of jobs to do in the garden. I'm really, really happy to get stuck in, and I've given myself 3 full days clear of everything else, just for gardening. The weather forecast had looked really good all week and now they're saying rain this afternoon, so we'll see how far we get. I'm also going to be sowing a few things this week, including, I've got them in bank baggies, my garlic. I've got four rows, the other one must be still in the bag. These are my garlic. I'd taken home a load of garlic for making tomato sauce and what have you. So I had more at home than I needed. So last night I sat and divvied them broke them open, divvied them out into 4 little baggies, which will represent my 4 rows. So yes, loads to get on with, really looking forward to it. The first thing I need to do is change from I've got my garden shoes on, but I'm going to change into my wellies because it really is quite soggy out there. So, oh cats. So come and join me in the garden and let's go on a treasure hunt for some main crop spuds. Can't wait. I've just given myself a little bit of extra wiggle room by removing that little set of bean canes. The rest are still up. They're going to come down later in the week because there's still some green bean material on there that I'm going to take down, chop up for compost. But never mind that, let's start in on the potatoes. And just before I do, this is the edge I'm talking about that I need to reinstate. I'll show you that later. But for now we'll get on with the main crop potatoes. The variety I grow is called Cara. They make the most gorgeous baked potatoes, but they're a pretty versatile potato for all sorts of things. Give them a go. They store well. I'll also show you how I'm going to store them. But just a word on the storing. All these tops. Oh, didn't mean to bring a potato up yet. All the tops have well and truly died back. Once the tops start dying back, the potato it sort of starts to toughen its own skin up. It's called curing, and it just means that they'll store for longer. If this was all really green still, if I was digging these out in, say, August, they wouldn't store as well. You'd want to use them up pretty much straight away, but they've all died back now, so they should all be good for storing. Oh my goodness, just the fork has just gone into that like a hot knife in butter. Wow, all this rain. Oh, hang on, I need to get myself in a better position. Let's turn this around. Yeah, hopefully all this rain has done me a favour in terms of digging these up, making it easier. But it's certainly going to make it muddier. And, oh, now it's too far away. I will give you a closer shot in a second. All the potato tops detritus are set aside, and then I will, oh, I saw them down there. I'll chop it up before adding it to the compost, of course. Do you know what? This ground is so soft, it might make it trickier today. Because it's all falling back in on itself. Oh, the first barber popper. Oh, it's beautiful soil. It's not often you hear me say that, is it? Beautiful soil. But my goodness, it is gorgeous today. I don't, in terms of care for the spuds through the growing season, I don't fertilise, pretty much don't do anything. I don't manure the bed. Oh no, I did manure the bed this year, a little bit. But it's had nothing since. However, I have made sure to water it this year. I think there's a bit of a fallacy that because potatoes are quite deep down, that they don't need watering, they can get it down there. But, you know, in a year like this, because we were in drought for so long, that water table is dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping all the time. And there comes a point where it's way below any of these plants. So with the best will in the world, they are not going to find it. So I did water them. And what I tended to do was do it Oh, I would say about 3 times a week, but really, really absolutely soak it. Oh, huge worms. Sorry to disturb your day. Opla. Yeah, I think I'm going to miss loads today because I'll show you now. The soil is so crumbly. I definitely saw one. Yeah, it's falling straight back in the hole. Where did it go? I definitely saw 2 then. Is this going to be the smallest harvest ever? Because I missed so many. Ah, there's one of them. Not huge ones so far, but I prefer that because, you know, as I'm often saying, if I'm just cooking for one, I mean, I had one spud last year. It was like a football. What am I going to do with a football? I can't eat a football. Arr, treasure. Okay, let me bring you in a bit closer so you can see and enjoy what I'm seeing and enjoying. Yeah, so just pull that top detritus off for chopping, and then let me show you. Oh, I can't see you. Hang on a sec. Let's turn you around that way so I can see you. Yes, good. Oh, this rain has really done me a favour. See, quite small this year, but yummy. Yeah, I'd rather put 3 little ones in to the oven than have one huge one that I need to sort of cut into 4 and then have to use the whole of it immediately. Let's see. It's really, very little though, and not much to that plant. You know, sorry, this is going to be a huffy puffy bid. Oh Lord, that gorgeous worm. Yeah, I think it's one of those years where it's hard to draw any conclusions because, you know, so much of, for example, things that I'm just going to turn you around so you can see this one now. Oh, you're tangled. Yeah, so much. Where are you going? So much of what hasn't worked so well this year could, of course, be down to drought. It does make one think about choices of plants for next year, but then what if next year we go back to a normal Brit summer of lots of rain, lots of rain and cool days? Yeah, it's really hard to decide what to do, and I think, you know, I think because of that, I think I'm just going to stick with what I have been doing, because generally things have worked. Not the beans this year, but then, oy vey, I can't give up on my beans. Can you see how, I mean, it's just beautifully crumbly. I think it's that sort of perfect wetness that's making the ground relatively easy to work, but it isn't at that sort of saturated, heavy, claggy point yet. Okay, right, let me carry on with this row, well, the whole bed, and then let's see where we get to. I have to say, it is looking like a really tiddly yield. Oh, never mind. All of this nasturtium that I've just let rampage, I don't need it there for the garlic, which is next in this bed. So simply what I'll do is I'll just rip it all out now, chop it up, stick it on one of my empty beds as sort of compost / mulch for the winter. Poor little plants. Oh, that one's a bit better. Yeah, I think we've definitely struggled this year. It's another of those days to quite simply be grateful for whatever we get. Whew. I'm grateful for a bit of a workout today. What is that the root of? Is that? It sort of looks like bindweed, but I don't think it is. Right, someone get the kettle on, it's going to take a while. Well, I think I can safely say that's my worst potato harvest ever. Oh my goodness. And look, the one big one that I got, I managed to stick my blimmin' fork through it. Well, that's for tea tonight. I also forgot that there was one Anya on the end of the road. This is my sort of new potato, salad potato. They're gorgeous. But yes, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Am I disappointed? A bit. I'll be honest, yeah, a bit disappointed. The heat, the drought, I don't know. Look, I'm grateful for a bit of harvest, of course I am. And as I've mentioned on previous occasions, potatoes aren't a huge deal to me. They're not, you know, if that was the squash or the tomatoes, I'd be really gutted because that's what I use the most of. Potatoes, in a way, they're almost like a little bit of a sort of an extra, a treat. So I'm glad I've got some, but reflecting back to the summer, especially sort of late July and all through August, that mammoth effort to keep the plants alive by watering them, now it feels like, was it worth it? It's worth it from the point of view of a homegrown spud. Nothing you buy in the shops tastes quite like it. So, right, they're all quite muddy. The one thing I never do is wash my spuds at this stage because their skins, even though the tops have died back, so those skins have started to cure. With the skins, even though the tops have died back, so the skins have started to cure, they're still, I don't want to mess with them because that's the potatoes' storage packaging for the winter. Although I don't think these are going to last into next year somehow. Where are we? November, December. Will I eat that all that lot in 2.5 months? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, so no, I won't wash them. Leave them just as they are. Now we've got quite a nice, dry, sunny, breezy day today. So firstly, I'm just going to lay them all out on my table here outside the shed, just so that mud and, you know, their general dampness can dry off a bit, dry off a bit, dry off a bit. And then for storing, you want to occlude the light, as in, you know, keep the light out and keep them somewhere cool but frost-free. So I'll see how the temperatures go, but generally I'll keep them in my shed for quite a while before eventually I'll take them home if it starts to look like we're getting frosty nights. And to store them, I usually use a paper sack. You can either go to a greengrocer to see if they've got some spare ones. You know, there's the really thick sort of triple layered potato sacks that they get their potato deliveries in. Or if you go to your local chip shop, they probably have them. I haven't had time to do that, so I'll make my own, as I always do, just with the free newspaper. I'm not going to try and show you now because it's quite breezy, it's going to blow everywhere, but literally all I do is open it out to the middle, then I'll take the staples out. This one is stapled, and then I'll put a row of tape down both long sides and one of the short sides, and that will then, I'll sort of find the midway point, open it up, and it'll be like my own little sack. Have I got enough to bother making a sack? The other thing is, of course, I've got my brown paper bags that I do my harvest, my drying, seed-saving drying in the shed. But yes, I will get on with that in a minute, but firstly I'll spread them all out on the table, and then I'm going to head back out to that bed and show you what... Oh, the cat's... Did you hear that then? Show you what I'm going to do in terms of the edge and prepping it to receive the next crop, which will be the garlic. I love it. It never ends, does it? Yay! Alrighty, let me do that and I'll see you back in the garden. Right then, time to get this edge sorted again. It's not too bad having dug the spuds out, but I just want to tidy it up. So I've got my little edging string. It's just a couple of tent pegs and a string attached, just to give me my line. Oh, dusty. In fairness, I could probably do this by eye, but why do it by eye when I've got my string to hand? See, not too bad, is it? And then I've got my trusty little tool that I use. It's actually, I think it's a turfing tool, isn't it? But I use it for doing my edges. And very simply, just make a cut. Quite hard because I'm not really cutting into much. And like I say, I like to do this because then where I've got this sort of a clean gutter down the edge, it means that the grass, concentrate, the grass roots have got no soil to grow into. And you know what? It doesn't take long, it's just a few minutes. I don't want to cut away there. Yeah, a few minutes work today will save me a load of annoyance next spring when all this grass starts growing again and wants to invade my vegetable beds, because as much as I love my grass paths, I don't want to grow a crop of grass in my beds. It's as simple as that. There's always a reason behind my neatness. It's not just because I'm some sort of like, ooh, I want to have the prettiest, neatest garden. No, it's practical. It's always about the practical. I mean, the fact is, yes, it's always about the practical, but then afterwards, it's also aesthetically pleasing. Give my veggies the space they deserve. Done. See, really, oh, excuse my back. I think I'm just going to redo this corner. Yeah, it really doesn't take a huge effort. Done. Now, isn't that immediately more pleasing, more satisfying, and looks more ready to go? And it's a chance to get some of this evil bindweed out. Right, now to prep it for the garlic. This also couldn't be more simple. Obviously the rain has done me a favour by making the soil nice and loose. I'm not having to break down great chunks of it as normal, or as quite often is normal. So literally just scattering my chicken poo pellets. Obviously they all vary, so just follow your chicken poo pellet instructions as to how much. I want this on because these little garlic, they are going to be in the ground for 6 months. Where are we? No, longer. Where are we? So October to November, December, January, February, March, April, possibly 7 months in the ground. And then I'm just going to rake this all slightly more level again. And as I do it, I can also, if there are a couple of clumpy lumps, I can just bash them out quickly. We're due more rain this afternoon, so I'm not going to plant the garlic today. We've got some more rain coming this afternoon, so that's going to help to melt the dry chicken poo pellets. So hopefully this time tomorrow it's going to be perfect for planting. There's all sorts of little rooty bits in here, from potatoes, from nasturtiums. That's fine. Just leave them in. Every ounce of organic matter that I incorporate into my soil, the better. Not just in terms of fertility, obviously, although I don't want grass roots. Yeah, not just in terms of fertility, but in terms of as a soil conditioner, to just help keep this heavy clay, you know, a little bit lighter. You can probably hear I'm hitting a ton of stones. I'm not bothered. I'll not bother the garlic. Obviously, if I was doing carrots in this bed, oh hello potato. If I was doing carrots or parsnips in this bed, I would want to, you know, be removing stones as I go. But that'll pretty much do. Okay, just a quick rake now. Oh, I've nicked a bit from that end. There we go. I really don't want to work the soil too much. Just have it in a state that's good, like I say, for receiving the next crop. Oh, I feel a bit Margot today. A bit wobbly in the mud. Some days are wobblier than others. Isn't that a happy sight now? Good. You know what? Can't be a straight line. It's just so pleasing. Pleases me anyway. But also, goodness me, when the soil's like this to work, it's so wonderful after, you know, think back in the spring because we'd had no rain and we'd had so much heat and sunshine, everything had set to concrete and it was miserable. It was taking me, anywhere between 4 and 6 hours to get one bed prepared. And look at that today. Digging the spods out half an hour. Doing this bit now 5 minutes. Yay! Oh, I can't wait for sewing day. Right. What's next on the list? Do you know? I don't know. I have to go back to the shed to check. Come on. Oh, I tell you what, you know, it's a really quite beautiful day. I need to put my glasses somewhere. I'm trying to keep everything out of the cat's way. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's sunny. It's quite a stiff breeze. That's nice. It's quite cooling, but I'm getting a bit warm. I've got quite a lot of layers on because I was expecting it to feel colder, but of course also, doing a bit of physical work. So, brilliant. Spuds out. That next bed is now prepped. Hopefully that will be tomorrow to get the garlic in. Oh, and I need to do some more sewing tomorrow too. Broad beans. Always do my autumn broad beans. With plans this year to thwart the misses. Because you lot, Rusty's just sitting there, you lot just, he does catch mice. I've seen him. He's a really good mouser. I just think there's so many of them. The cats can't keep on top. Anyway, that's all for another day. Today, for the next couple of hours or so, it's that time of year again when I need to have another major sort out of the shed because I'm getting piles and piles of harvests coming in here. There are squash everywhere. The deck chair is at a jaunty slant. I brought that in out of the weather. That needs to be properly tucked away. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. I've got one bum cheek on the bench. Where my other bum cheek should be, I've got a Rusty. So I think it's a worthwhile investment of my time now to have a bit of a sort out and also to see how much I can pack into the granny trolley today to take home. On my way here today, it's definitely that time of year where it's like something comes down, something goes home. I bought a bag of compost, only a small bag, because I'm going to try something different. But that's for the next video. So that filled the granny trolley up coming down here, and now I can fill it up going home. I'm actually thinking, because there are so few spuds, I'll probably fill a couple of my, you know, these, because they're quite, I'm trying to show you, I can get quite a lot of stuff into one of these little bags. So I'd got a couple in the granny trolley that I'd brought back that I'd emptied of lavender. So I'm thinking, just put the spuds in there and get them home today. Then that's one thing less to try and cram into the shed. Oh, lavender scented potatoes. Not sure. It's funny, isn't it? Just to say quickly, then I will shut up and go. Lavender in food. Someone was, I think it was Paul, sent me a link the other day for some lavender tea. To me, it's a perfume. I'm not sure. Yeah, lavender cookies, don't know whether I'm brave enough to try. I'd try one, but yeah, it doesn't really appeal to me to cook with lavender. Anyway, that's a digression. Get the spuds home, hopefully another couple of the squash, just try and take a couple of squash every visit. Sort this, try and take some more lavender home. Actually, the lavender is so light that if I can't get it into my granny trolley, I can put it into my backpack. So yeah, plenty to do, plenty to be getting on with. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. I've been so looking forward to these few days anyway. You know, I'm not in a hurry to go home now. I'll be doing some tinkering, tidying, what have you, sort the shed out. But over the next couple of days, it's almost like it'll be the spring in reverse. It'll be the big change of the year. that's the opposite change, you know, with structures coming down, beds being tucked up for winter. Yeah, I like it. I like that big change moment each year. So, oh, wind's picking up. It's getting a bit dark out there. Maybe that rain's coming early. All the more reason to stay in the shed and sort it out. So, thank you so much for joining me in the garden today. Disappointing spud harvest, but you know what? That's how it goes, isn't it? That's how it goes. I'll be delighted to eat the ones that I have got. And like I said, thank goodness other crops have done brilliantly for me. So it's that adage that I'm sure I sort of say this at this time every year. I shan't starve. I've got freezers full, I've got bottles, I've got stuff under the bed. Yeah, I ain't gonna starve. I just won't be having a baked potato every night till February. All right, my lovelies, I will see you again really soon for some sewing, some autumn sewing. Can't wait. See you then. Take care, lovelies. Bye for now.